Ichibei Hyosube. This strongest Shinigami I'm talking about is so strong, he can even cut plot armor. He has been the commander of Squad Zero since it has existed. You think Yamamoto was old because he has been alive for a few thousand years? Well, this guy was there from the very beginning of Soul Society itself. Before Ichibei, there was no Bankai, no Shikai, or even Soul Society. But what puts Ichibei on a completely different level is, of course, his Zanpakuto, Ichimonji. In English, it literally means one written character. Ichimonji's sealed form takes the shape of a large calligraphy brush, which Ichibei uses to write characters that carries the power of their meaning. On top of that, Ichimonji has a unique ability called Conceal or Hidden, which we see Ichibei use in order to slow Yhwach's progression towards the Soul King, as he showcases one of the craziest feats in all of Bleach by hiding the entire palace from sight with this ability. Another base skill of Ichibei's Ichimonji is Seal, which creates a boundary that cannot be passed, as we saw with his fight against Yhwach. In fact, Ichibei's power over the names of everything is exactly what makes him broken. With that, Ichibei's very own name carries a unique power. Basically, anyone who does not put respect on his name or is unworthy will be cursed to lose their voice. But that's only if you're a weak ass chump, because when Yhwach comes face to face with the Mad Monk, he casually puts disrespect on his name, showing the levels he's at. This dig at Ichibei was not taken lightly though, as he responded with his ginormous pimp hand, Senri Sutensho, or 1,000 Heavenly Hands. This ability created a giant hand where it one smack sent Yhwach 300 miles away. Initially, Yhwach is so shocked by this as he was forced to shoot himself with his own arrow just to reverse his trajectory, which irritates Ichibei actually, finally declaring to kill the Quincy King for his failure to atone in disrupting the balance of the world. His eyes go fully white and he is in kill mode, clashing his sword, or I guess his brush, against Yhwach's blade. Now don't be fooled by the brush look of his Zanpakuto, as it is sharper than any sword, being able to not only cut flesh but the very names and properties that lies within their meanings. It can manipulate the metaphysical representation of these names, which grants him power over his target. Like when Ichibei landed a blow on Yhwach's arm, he reduced the physical capabilities of it by half, as with one swift swipe Yhwach only has an AR. You get it? AR, because you know the M is missing. Okay, this is called name severing, and losing half the name is reflected on the strength of what it represents. For example, if you could swing your sword at 100 miles per hour, now with just an AR or R, you can only swing at 50 miles per hour. This slowed movements of Yhwach's half arm presented Ichibei with the perfect opportunity to slash him at the center of his body. With his mastery of Kido, Ichibei then follows up by using a secret Hado number 3, Tempu Satsu or Iron Wind Kill, which was even strong enough to break through Yhwach's Blood Vene Anhaben, the strongest defense of the Quincy. All of this is before Yhwach even activates his Shikai through the command Paint It Black. His brush transforms into a glaive, replacing the hairs with a sharp blade. Additionally, a large halo of black ink is presented behind Ichibei. This is the power of black, where the color black from all beings, Soul Reapers, Quincy's, the dead and the living, all the blacklist in the world are his to control. Whenever Ichibei swings Ichimonji, its blade releases black ink. Anything that this ink covers loses its name, and thus its meaning and powers. In Bleach, names play a big role, even with Zanpakuto from being a prerequisite in activating a Shikai to even unlocking the Bankai. Everything's names hold special power. So Ichibei's ability to erase the names of things its ink covers literally nullifies anything you could throw at this man. This power is almost like filling everything in darkness, where its name cannot be seen. Thus, it does not exist. Not even Yhwach's Quincy Cross can evade it. Getting frustrated by this ability, Yhwach tries to steal this power using Shanked Altar, but it doesn't work because Ichimonji's ability cannot be used by anyone other than Ichibei, as it is black. Listen, Ichibei literally is the master of all the color black in the universe. So even if it was used against him, he would have control over it. This ability isn't just limited to Zanpakuto or body parts, as he paints Yhwach in black, causing the Quincy King to be cut from the world itself. Ichibei literally wipes away Yhwach's existence altogether. But it doesn't stop there, as being the monk who calls the real names, he can give Yhwach a new name through his Bankai, the white brush Shirafude Ichimonji. This guy is so ancient that his Zanpakuto was the first Bankai ever, and he dubbed this transformation as Shinuchi, which replaces his black ink halo with white ink. Ichimonji Shikai can erase a name through the black ink, then using Shirafude, he then gives it a new name and a new meaning altogether. We see this when he erases Yhwach's name with the black and writes him a new one, being Kuroari or Black Ant. And just like that, Yhwach's power becomes that of an ant, crawling on the ground with a fragile and fleeting life. Now, if it was any other Soul Reaper or Quincy or Hollow, literally any other being altogether, then Ichibei would have flattened them in seconds. But Yhwach somehow has protagonist power hacks on with Almighty. In fact, in chapter 24 of the Bleach light novel Can't Fear Your Own World, we learn that Ichibei's only weakness is that his power of blackness is ineffective against someone with the power of the Soul King in them. That's why Yhwach was able to reverse its effect. But Ichibei's brokenness doesn't stop there, as after Yhwach takes away the Kuroari name given to him by using, his Almighty, Ichibei brings forth a huge heap of blackness from all over the surroundings into a cup and drinks it, which creates a large mausoleum with a fence in front of the shattered blackness, calling it Futen Tai Satsuryo. I probably butchered that, please forgive me guys. This ability takes away all the darkness in his opponent, including their flesh, blood, bones, until nothing is left but the absolute destruction, where they won't even be able to reincarnate afterwards. Unfortunately, Yhwach's Almighty is just the perfect counter, so he changes the future to his liking and kills Ichibei by chopping his head off. That's quite sad, actually. But remember guys, Ichibei is immortal. Due to his Okin, he comes back to life after Ichigo calls out his name and gives a portion of his powers to fully heal him. Pretty crazy hacks if you ask me. But Ichibei returns the favor to Ichigo by, trying to turn him into the new Soul King for the sake of balance. And that's right after having the audacity to ask Ichigo to stop Yhwach from killing the Soul King, because the latter is what keeps everything in existence. But luckily for our boy, we learn in the novel You Can't Fear Your Own World, Ichibei managed to fulfill his desire for balance by using Yhwach as a sufficient replacement for the Soul King, so he didn't need to use Ichigo. Finally, with the Hell arc of Bleach happening in the future, I'm sure the Mad Monk will make an appearance again with his broken ass powers. So whilst you're at it, make sure to check our video on probably the only person who can fight Ichibei, which is the Soul King himself.